Hi, welcome back. This Hilux was something my brother turned up with. It was in a pretty bad state, as you can see. So he sorted out the chassis and we put a new box on the back and he got all the body panels and stuff and he got all that put on and we put it into the shed, and the plan was he was going to go away and I was going to paint it, so when he came back he could take it away with him. So we were in a really big rush. It would have been a nice build video, but unfortunately I just didn't have the time to get it filmed and stuff. So I did do a bit about the sills. Not a lot about them out there that I could see, and it doesn't seem that you can buy the inner sills yet. You can buy outers, but we'll have a look at those. I did get outer sills, but we'll go through those in the video a little bit. Yeah, so this is what they looked like before I started. Right, so what you have starting at the front and working your way back, you have this vertical support in the center. This extends down to the bottom of that lip on the bottom of the sill. So those are there, I imagine, to give a bit of support either side of this body mount. Then you have an inner sill which comes down and turns down into this as well, and it's kind of this one isn't full length. This isn't the actual outer sill, but for all intents and purposes it is. So that also comes down and meets. So then by the time you're here you have 3 layers tacked together here on this bottom piece. And then the outer sill, which is the replacement panel, or the only replacement panel you can get for it, is actually just the kind of cosmetic panel that comes down over that and joins into these as well. So I'll give you one little look at, I left a section in the other side as a kind of something to gauge it all off of. Now the chances are the sides of these are okay. This one's a bit worse for wear on the inside here. And up there is kind of another story. This is actually still pretty solid, so my base will weld in, my replacement piece will weld in down and turn this way, in here and down, and in my last panel over. So you can't buy these. So these bits I didn't find available anywhere, so I just had to make them out of some sheet steel. I'm using 1.2 mil steel, I think. Seems to be about what's in there. So this will be the inner one, so that's going to come down and fit in that way and get welded along that inner edge there. Now this is the outer one. Use a short section, and that will come down and clamp along and be welded along there. And they are staggered at different heights like that originally as well. The only thing I have to add to that is these vertical repair pieces. So they're going to go onto the bases of those. Sorry, it's really hard to show. They will be going onto the base of those. They will come down and end up sandwiched. So that vertical piece will come down and get sandwiched in there, and then all be welded right through. And again, that's just to give support around the body mount by the looks of it. And then the outer sill will extend down over all of this and add into this lip as well. So that's kind of what you'd have to manufacture for it. I've done them, the sheet of steel was 4 feet long, so I've done 1.2 meter lengths, inner and outer, and the outer one is a bit shorter on each side, so that's just to, that'll be cut in half to make up the extra. I have 2 more pieces here as well, both inners. So here's a nice cross section of what you're trying to replicate. So that's my inner piece, you can see there. Inner piece down, vertical coming down, this kind of outer proper sill coming down, and then the cosmetic panel coming down over that and in there, and all clamped together where they were all able to rust away nicely together. So once I get it all built up, there's a little thong on these, just be on the back of your cab, right in there, and there's another one at the front. It's actually in behind that now, so you can't see it, but it is up there. So I highly recommend you go buy a gallon of wax oil and pour the whole bloody lot in there now. Or preferably a few years ago. Okay, so this is just part way along there now. I've just got that vertical welded in, so you can see it along the top there, and then this outer. Now that outer section only starts here, so about 2 foot forward of the back of the cab. The inner one goes all the way back, so the inner one I'm going to weld onto here in the end, and carry it on the rest of the way forward. So this is the original side. It's just the base was completely rotten out on both sides. This section here, these were actually separated, or they were to, maybe this was welded in after to the outside of this, but either way that edge was bad, so I've welded that edge to give me something half decent to weld the inner sill to. And as you can see from that body mount there, that's basically the line of the inner sill from here down, and then down turn and weld it across there. So I'm going to cut some sections of inner sill now and carry this the rest of the way from here just into here. Also, these are just the cab sills, you know, the structure is here in the chassis. I mean, it's not like a monocog. There's a good big chassis rail there. This is just the sill of the cab. Right, so bought an outer sill for it. Really not a good match, but all that I could find that was available. So I split it along this edge to join in just under the doors, so that's a door shut, but I don't want that. But that's probably an inch shorter than it should be, which isn't great. So it's quite a lot of welding. I had hoped to wrap it up over here and weld it along there, but as you can see, I had to put an infill here, and yeah, just not a good fit, but it's alright now, it's done anyway. The bodywork is so thin on these, really a pig to weld. Like I was doing a seam weld there as well, like I didn't have an overlap, which I actually wanted on this, even though I don't normally do an overlap. But yeah, it's just a pig to do. So yeah, we'll give the coat of stuff now, and on to the next side. I'll just show you these. Because it was so far short on the other side, when I cut the second one, I cut it a lot further in here, so this is essentially the door shut. So the first one I cut right at the edge, top of the sill, edge of the door shut. The second one I cut into the door shot and straightened that out, and saved me a load of time on welding it on. So it was definitely worth cutting right in here. This would have gone out and curled around right there. So that's right on the bend where it turns down onto the sill. But they're such a poor fit that that was definitely something you needed to do. Now again, this is a month later or so. I kind of omitted to finish out the welding on the video, but that's our outer sill. And then our inner, welded all the way along there. Sorry, try and get the light off the camera. And there's the inner, there's that piece, that inner piece which I didn't touch. I had welded it along there first, and then I welded this the whole way along after. These are all plug welded together, and then we drilled and sprayed a load of oil into that. Sprayed a load of oil into the inside of that sill after. So there's the body mount. Floor up there still needs cleaning and under sealing. Just all had that brush on seam sealer put over it afterwards to protect. Now after, we just drilled a couple of little holes in the door shuts to pump in some oil in there to protect the inside of those sills. Same here in the rear door shut. So, yeah, that's that. Unfortunately, again, I couldn't spend the time to do a more detailed video on the whole thing. We were literally painting it in the rain 2 days before he needed to drive it 1,000 miles or something. So, yeah, even that, we only got the brakes and tires and everything done the day he was going. As it turned out, it's still here, but that's not the Jeep's fault. So, yeah, hope somebody finds that help. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you wouldn't mind. That'd help out. And yeah, thank you very much, and see you next time. Cheers.